everybody. I'm very excited to have Thomas at one of our Dream Pioneers webinars. Welcome, Thomas. And Thomas is co-author of this wonderful book.
It's Oneironautics, I guess you pronounce it. Oneironaut is someone who has learned to traverse the dream world, I guess, with the same consciousness and awareness that you do in the physical world.
It's a great book by Dylan Tuchillo, Jared Zeisel, and Thomas Peisel.
We are not related, so.
Yeah.
Peisel versus Zeisel. If you actually type that into YouTube, Peisel versus Zeisel, you'll see me being very crazy. It's an interesting video. So I just wanted to write something, and that was the intention with I had the two writers, is just writing something that's fun, bringing the funness back into dreaming and knowing that, hey, this is something you guys are already doing, now let's explore taking it to the next step.
So I'm Jennifer Claroscura, or Jennifer Pilar Cornejo. Claroscura is my dreaming name. I was excited to see what lies in the future of dreaming, and dreaming as a community once again, which brings us to this subject. We're really going to need your participation today. Thank you everyone for joining us in this webinar. You know, a virtual room full of dream pioneers is like a dream for me, and there is a dreaming energy here present right now. A lot of us are passionate about dreaming. Some of us are curious about dreaming. Some of us are just new to dreaming. It doesn't matter. What really does matter is that we're all here. The main subject is what's uniting us. And, everybody, if you could please remember a dream you've recently had. Remember a dream you recently had. Remember the details. This is to bridge the dreaming energy into the waking reality. Since there's a lot of people, and you know, we would love to hear your dreams, but since we can't hear everybody's wonderful stories, although you can always email them to me, this is one thing you can share, and that is, if you could give your dream, that dream that you're thinking of right now, so if you could put a title to that dream.
So we're writing the title of a dream that we either recently had or a dream that we can remember that was maybe powerful or bad burn. John Hamm and Wolves.
Early spring sky over Chelsea. Coming of the dragons.
Nice, yin and yang.
The other me.
Ooh, I like that one.
Out of the cocoon. Oh my God, I love that. Sharing the subconscious thoughts of others.
Christmas gift. Okay. And it's summertime, like Michael. Jennifer, I'm just going to go ahead and say some things that I
go ahead.
Would like to say just to what to expect for tonight and kind of what we want to talk about and what everyone will walk away with.
Awesome.
And maybe you could share your intention too for tonight. But my intention is that we begin to understand how powerful a tool dreaming can be and why it's an important time to develop this skill again today. And then I want to talk about two things. How can we use the insights of lucid dreaming to better our waking life? So we're not talking just about dreaming being something that only happens at night. We're talking about being lucid is about making both your dreaming and your waking life more conscious or more deliberate, more enjoyable. You're bringing awareness into both. You really can't be lucid in a dream without bringing more awareness into your waking life. And then the second thing is I want to talk about three, I guess, foundational really things on a heart-centered level that will help you dream. And a lot of people, say, I always tell people that I can't teach people how to dream, that you already do. It's like me teaching you how to breathe.
Right.
You know, it's something that you already do. And what I can do is help you be more mindful of your breath or of your dreams. But when people say I don't dream, they're just saying they don't remember their dreams. So it's just not a problem, but it's a thing of memory rather than ability. You're doing it every night. So dreams don't want to be this mysterious, elusive thing. All they really want is your attention. So people who are already here, there's 42 people, you're already doing exactly what you need to do. And that's talk about dreams, open up a space for dreams to be in our waking lives. And you guys are already doing it. So I guarantee you tonight all of us are going to be dreaming just because our minds are going to be thinking about dreaming, attention to it. But yeah, so it's not something that you need to learn again. You just need to I guess, be mindful of it. So that's the second thing.
Set up your intention right now to begin having a more intimate connection and to align yourself with the dreaming dimension, with the manifesting live energy that is dreams. And when dreamers come together in a group, it is so, so powerful. We need to get that kind of power back, not just individual, but as a group. It's good to have your individuality, of course, your unique eye, your unique voice, but it is also good to be a part of a community, especially of dreamers. You know, this is magic.
Can we do a little hand here?
Oh, yeah, what was it? Wasn't it the head one?
Put our minds together. Okay, what is a dream pioneer? Or what do you think is a dream pioneer? I'm kind of curious to hear from everyone else.
Yeah.
I like that, Michael. One who experiments in the dream world and explores. So exploring internally, I mean, it's such a trailblazer thing to do, to be an explorer and to go within. For me, I always see a dream pioneer. Everyone who's in this room is brave as hell, just because going within isn't always Candyland. You know, you go within and you meet, sometimes you meet your own internal demons that you don't, I guess, want to see. And then you also meet the most wise teachers that are, you know, here to give you wisdom and help you along your path. So it's almost like you can't go into the dream world and come out the same person. You're always you're gonna be changed in some way by going within.
I love what you said, Thomas. And for me, it's about discovering that you, all along, you were the key and the door and the stargate and the portal towards all the things you've ever wondered about in mysteries and the unknown, whatever it was that you yearned for, why you're here. The metaphysical love or the love of strange things like dreams and astral projection, all those things comes from a place within, and we always give our power to others, and I feel like we're here to give your power back. Your dreamer wants to make a connection with you right now. This is what Dream Pioneers is all about. It's about making that connection with your dream, with your dreamer, with the dream dimension and the energy, and then from there on, you know, going off into the horizon and see where it takes you into your own unique experience.
Yeah, I also think a dream pioneer is someone who's just, you know, I get a sense when I think of the word, I think of an explorer or like a trailblazer, or someone who's being called. And I don't, you know, I feel maybe all of us feel this in our hearts, is that we feel called to develop this skill again and to bring this unconscious part of ourselves into consciousness, which there's more to us than just our egos and just our physical bodies, and reconnecting to that is hugely important right now, which kind of pulls us into that direction. Why is this a unique time to connect or reconnect? Because humanity has kind of almost stopped connecting, and then now we're coming back to something. But why is it a unique time right now to be dreaming?
Share with us your thoughts about that, because we need to get some love in this world.
I just wanted to highlight what Michael Wendt said. He said, much fear in the world. It teaches us to confront and hopefully overcome our fears. As we know, we're all sharing this collective dream that we are. So by going within and doing your own internal work on your own issues and things, you're, in a sense, changing the world. So if we're going to change this world, it first starts with our own consciousness and our own self. And then, you know, it's going to be reflected back.
Mm-hmm. Bridging the gap between everything, the conscious, the subconscious, the dream and the waking reality. You know, you and me and us and everything. And this is when you have to discover your unique perception about it. It'll shape your waking reality when you discover more consciously what you think about absolutely everything.
Well, he said something earlier. He said that you mentioned, Jennifer, that, you know, we're constantly dreaming. And even if you're awake, it doesn't mean you're not dreaming. So I think that's what we're going to be covering in kind of the middle section, which is talking about how lucid dreaming can actually teach you some things about how waking reality works and how consciousness is creating and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you're talking about why is this a unique time and reconnecting to our dreams?
Yes.
I mean, you're also saying that when we're dreaming, I mean, I guess getting in touch with our dreams again, we're learning how to consciously create those dreams as well as consciously create the dream of your physical world. Mm-hmm. Anyway, dreams, I wanted to say this, dreams are these, for me, for my whole life, I've been very affected by dreams. Dreams have been very powerful and extremely powerful for me. I was talking to my friend, my long childhood friend, a couple weeks back, and I showed him the book, and he's like, I hadn't really told him I was doing this, and he's like, dude, you wrote a book. This is a book. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, it's right here.
He's like, I don't know if you remember this, but you were always talking about dreaming, and people always used to think you were so weird in high school and grammar school because you'd always talk about dreams, and people were like, why is he doing that? But I haven't realized that I've always been kind of talking about it and trying to bring it into, seeing if other people are affected by this. But I like Carl Jung where he says we do our greatest works in our dreams. It's a place where we can heal ourselves. I've healed past relationships, and I've reintegrated with my past selves and lost parts of ourselves. I've received so much guidance and met teachers, but I've also come face to face with some terrible other darker aspects of myself. But for me, I always see dreams as like this inner compass. They're always guiding us, and if we bring their energy into the waking world, we're always guided by our intuition. Dreams tell us kind of what we're going to be doing the next day, and they're a powerful source to tap into.
So it's not just about lucid dreaming and I can fly, I can do this, I can do that. It's a little more profound. We're trying to go a little bit deeper into the individual themselves to rediscover their lucid dreamscape, because in the lucidity of consciousness, it's almost like a symbol. Lucid dreams are almost like a symbol of our remembrance of our soul, of what we can do, of the creative side of who we really are.
Phil Rock said it right there. It's an inner mirror. Oh my God, so this is perfect. So, yes. Phil Rock, I just want to say before I go into these 3 principles, that just to kind of take the mysteriousness out of lucid dreaming, people put it on this pedestal like it's this godlike state, and it is a very heightened state of awareness, but it's not something impossible. So I always give this analogy. I always say, because a lot of people just have a kind of a distorted view of dreams. They wake up in the morning, they have these fragmented, wispy images or details that they're like, okay, a bear and a wood and a this, but those details, that's just the memory of the dream. So when you wake up in the morning and you're trying to recall those dreams, that's just the memory of the dream. Just as if you were to try to remember your 10th birthday party or what you did, anyone can imagine right now, what did you do last Saturday? Those images, that memory would be fleeting. That would be like almost like a remembered dream. You'd have these fragments and bits and pieces of it. So that what you remember in the morning is just the memory of the dream, not the dream itself. Mm-hmm. So really, lucid dreaming is just waking up to the present moment of the dream. So you're having a dream, and you just in that moment realize it's almost this awakening. That's why it's called waking up in your dream. But you're just waking up to the present moment. Just as in the waking world, you can have they call it a peak experience or something, or waking up to the present moment where you're just very clear. And but I wrote down these 10 principles that I kind of took from the dream world just from my experiences, and I just wanted to share 3 of them with you. And sorry, what was your name? It was Polo Rock said it first, mm-hmm. And it's an inner mirror. Mm-hmm. So the dream world, the first principle is that the dream world is a mirror. So when you're literally lucid, you can tell that everything outside of yourself, everything that's appearing outside of yourself is very intimately connected to you. Even the air feels conscious because it is you. So you are, whatever's kind of appearing outside of yourself is part of you. So our inner experience, like our thoughts and our expectations and our beliefs, is kind of reflected back. So if you imagine or you think you're going to turn the corner and someone's going to run after you and chase you, that's probably going to happen. You're going to create that. The second one is wherever you go, there you are. Mm. So a lot of times, like I spent years where I was in a nightmare, say for example, and I want to get away from this thing. And I would fly to another scene, or I would go into a house and hide, or I would try to change the dream scene. And wherever I would go, thing or monster, whatever, would still be there. Because I'm the one running, but I'm also the one chasing. It's here, so it is myself that I'm running from. This relates to the waking world as well, because say you go to California, or if you're in California, just move somewhere new, start a new life. Well, wherever you go, there you are. You try to be like, well, I'm going to get a fresh start, and I'm going to do things differently. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you find yourself in the same relationships, in the same circumstances or situations. Wherever you go, Same patterns, yeah. So wherever you go, there you are. You're going to be creating this mirror, which then is the third principle, which how do you change it? And it says, don't change the dream, change yourself.
Yes.
You wouldn't go up to a mirror. Imagine this, you go up to a mirror, how absurd this would be, and try to change the mirror and try to change it from a frown to a smile. It's just, you wouldn't do that. You would change the source of it. You would change your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own expectations, and then that would be reflected back to you. So you would smile, and the mirror would then reflect back to you. So for you guys, I mean, what are the sort of, does that make sense on how these dreaming principles kind of relate to our physical world? Is the physical world a mirror of your own thoughts and beliefs and expectations? Wherever you go, are you creating your reality? And can we apply the same lucid principles? Don't change the dream, change yourself, change from within.
I love that.
Nice, so that made sense. So yeah, these are 3 principles. I have like 10 of them, but they're incredible because we can learn so much about our dreaming. I mean, another one is something like, how our thoughts and our feelings create this reality. And it's funny, in the dream world, it's instantaneous. Like your thoughts and your feelings instantly create. And you can see it in real time when you're lucid. Mm-hmm. Here, it's a little bit more dense. I guess we're in like the 3rd dimension, so we're here in a physical place. So for our thoughts and expectations to manifest, it takes time. Mm-hmm. So the dream world takes place where there is no time. There's just one big eternal now.
That's why that's why the beauty of dreaming with the waking reality and bridging into the waking reality is because what people call 3rd dimension and dense is just the lack of dreaming in it, because dream energy really does dissolve the solid illusion that everything is a thing. So everything is actually an intelligent and alive energy that is interacting with you all the time, but our perception closes us off to that, and then we live this like solid, dense reality. And one way to get lighter and start vibrating in a different, in a more real, authentic, I don't want to say different because our authentic selves are multidimensional. So dreaming in the waking reality is exactly what would help lighten up those frequencies, those vibrations, and allow us to see more magic in every day.
Yeah. I was told this exercise to do from someone. He said, walk around this world as if this is a dream, and literally try to convince yourself that you're walking down the street inside of a dream, that everything is connected to you and that it's all you, it's a reflection. And I did this, the first time I did it, I walked outside and I was like going to get something to eat. Just the synchronicities, and I ran into someone that I was thinking about. It's just, start seeing that we're dreaming all the time. You're always dreaming reality into being, constantly. You can't stop. That's what consciousness does. We create. So that's an awesome exercise to do.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I'm dreaming in my waking reality because I believe that this is a very important dimension in which we're in. And it's not about going or reaching anything. It's about drawing it into, it's about expanding the perception to allow yourself to be who you really are. To start dreaming in general and to view life more symbolically. Language has really encased and imprisoned our perception, and television and all these things that show us how everything is every day the same thing, and all the same careers and the same, we start to view things in these small cages, and we haven't really freed our own perception. We haven't really given ourselves, our authentic self, a chance to become one with us.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. I just want to clarify some things because I think Anya didn't get what was said. Let me just go back here. Yeah, Thomas, are you dreaming? Are you sure you're not dreaming right now? I'm one of those people who absolutely I'm dreaming. We are in a sense dreaming. We're always, all of us are individually dreaming, but we're having a shared dream as well. We all agree on these laws in this world that we live in, and it's based on our own imagination. We think it's this way, and we believe it's this way, and therefore it is that way. This world can be anything we want it to be, so we're sharing it, but at the same time, we're all individually creating our own reality. Every circumstance, every situation. Mm-hmm. If you look at your thoughts and your beliefs, and this is what internal work's all about, whether you're dreaming or you're meditating, But when you look at that, you say, oh my God, this is the source of it. My thoughts and my beliefs are the source of my creation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly your unconscious thoughts too, right? So they're maybe not on the forefront of your mind, like I suck, but maybe they're, unconscious thoughts, like I'm not good enough to do this, or I'm not ready, or things like that.
Your contribution as a dreamer, as a unique creator in this world, in this existence, is important. And coming out as the unique leader, because there's a unique leader inside all of us. But in what? See, we're trying to be this guy, that guy, this person that we heard about, that, but you're not looking at what it is that you're going to be, and you're not going to be them. You're going to be you, and you're going to be something that is different than them, maybe similar in some ways, but definitely unique. And this is the time to come out and explore yourself, explore the dream in the waking reality, try out all kinds of things, but get to know what you are, what you aren't, what resonates with you.
Absolutely. I was once told that we're the imagination of ourselves. So when you think of like what you're going to do tomorrow and you imagine that, you imagine it in your mind's eye. It's something that doesn't exist yet. It's in the future. So you're, in a sense, creating it already. So changing that imagination. I often do this exercise with people where you describe your ideal dream day. Because a lot of times it isn't just nighttime stuff. We're talking about remembering how to dream, your own dreams, your aspirations, your soul, part of yourself that wants to create something very unique here in this world. So I ask people to just, and this is a great exercise to do, everyone could do it. Imagine your most ideal day. And this could be, and I want you to dream as big as possible. Like, what are you doing? What is the first thing you do in the morning? You wake up and where are you? You're waking up in an apartment or a house, or you're waking up with someone next to you. What's the first thing you do? You go out onto the balcony with some tea or some coffee, you eat breakfast. What's the breakfast you eat? Describe all that food. And then go down your day. What kind of work are you doing? How are you bringing happiness to other people in your work? Go down to lunch and keep doing that, and go throughout your whole day. And that, in a sense, is the first step in then creating it. Now you have a blueprint. You have in your mind's eye an imagination of what you want. And then you can start creating. That's the first step. It's just like you need to first think of a table before you create it. You need it in your mind's eye, right?
Every second is a new universe. And we're constantly shifting through these vibrational frequencies or through these realities. And when I'm having a really bad, or what I would judge as a bad day, I make a check on myself. I'm like, I start doing my dreaming awake exercises. I begin to, what Thomas does in his description as a lucid dream and waking reality. And what happens is that I'm back to the best day ever universe. Even if strange things happen, I'm not judging it anymore, but at the same time, magic begins to happen once again. You'll realize the synchronicities really do enhance and multiply the more lucid you are in your waking reality.
Yeah. It just reminds me of this quote. We have a whiteboard out in the hallway, and it says a quote of the day. And yesterday's was an Einstein, and it says, let me see if I can remember. It says, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you can't help but create that reality.
Exactly.
This isn't philosophy. This is physics. Like, oh man, this dude is a badass. He knew in his old age that he's not talking about philosophy. This is physics. We're talking about matching.
Dreaming.
Right, he's an awesome dude. I couldn't believe he said that. I was like, but I see it down here in the chat thing that we're talking about law of attraction and quantum physics. Quantum physics is saying, this may be for you, Anya, but this is saying some similar things. It's saying, everything exists in this fabric or this superposition. No particle exists as a set, solid thing until it's first observed, right? So yeah, the observer effect. So what that says to me, and this is just in my opinion, but this says to me that we're talking about subatomic particles. We're talking about really tiny stuff in the fabric of the universe, and that everything exists in this infinite possibility until you observe it, and it solidifies. So for you, Jennifer, you exist in all possible versions of yourself. You're talking about you're multidimensional. You are existing in all these planes, and what you're doing is tapping into and creating. You're observing yourself to be a certain way.
Right.
And that then solidifies yourself into Jennifer that you know yourself to be. But we all exist on all these infinite planes. So again, this isn't some cosmic, it's crazy and it's magical, but at the same time, we're talking about monitoring your thoughts and your beliefs and how that actually shapes who you are. Dreaming, because dreaming is something, I feel like it's the springboard to talk about these things, because it's something everyone does, and even if you're not spiritual or you don't really think about any of these things, you know from dreams, and maybe you've all had powerful dreams that have changed you. They changed the way you think, or you woke up feeling totally different, or insights were given to you. But it's a perfect springboard to talk about we're not just a physical ego and body. We also can consciously function on other places, other realms, whatever you want to call it. So in our dreams, that's what lucid dreaming is. It's waking up inside the dream and walking around it literally just like we would walk around the street. You have complete conscious awareness, clarity. You know that you're sleeping somewhere in bed, that you're always aware of, keeping it stable because you don't want to wake up. So you can walk around and talk to dream characters, ask them questions. Someone asked, why do you think we have to learn to lucid dream? I don't think you have to, but I think it would help humanity and just raise consciousness, on many levels. It's just fascinating to me that today we're almost unconscious in our dreams. We don't even, first of all, we think they're unimportant or these weird things or unworthy of our attention, and that fascinates me just because throughout history they have a totally different relationship to dreaming. Dreaming was a very, very important part of life, just as this physical world is. So they called it all these kinds of things. They called it the dream time, or the Celtics called it the other world, or indigenous peoples called it the spirit world. But a lot of them thought when we dreamed, we go to this shared and collective space, a space that is outside of time, that you can meet other dreamers, you can meet people who have transcended the physical realm, deceased. They had a crazy relationship with it. And here we are saying like, oh, it's stupid. This is just nonsense. And I think that's just because we don't understand them. We forgot how to speak the language of a dream. It obviously doesn't talk in like, with an English accent or some symbols, and it talks in like a very archaic language. It talks in like a direct experience. So it's something we just need to, it's almost like we're learning a new language, and we need to develop a skill of this.
I agree with J3 T-Man. Maybe people are unconscious in their dreams now because they are unconscious in the waking reality. That could be true, but at the same time, it could just be a disbalance. Like you are a little bit too conscious of your waking reality and not trying to bridge the two, not trying to align. When you have a problem, not only are your dreams trying to tell you some advice, but so is your waking reality. And we forget that we hold the answers. We really do. As a hypnotherapist, I have taken people into subconscious, superconscious states of awareness where they had the answers to their questions all along. And I started realizing dreaming is also, it's a way to bring the mind down and to actually have something a little bit more wiser. I don't know how to, a different kind of wisdom that we hold can come through.
Yeah, I think the word that highlights for me is balance. When we're talking about changing to a dreaming society and why we're doing this, a word that just resonates with me is balance. You're talking about
definitely
one is not more important than the other. All human experiences are important. None of them are trivial. So it reminds me of this metaphor I say about the moon. And it's, you look at the moon, you see just one part of the moon. We only see the face that gets reflected by light. So we only see one part of the moon, but if we want to see the moon, if we want to understand fullness, we have to look at the other side. We have to understand that there is another side. There's the dark side, and then there's the light face of the moon. So just like we're talking about with dreaming and bridging this, our unconscious and our conscious, and making that bridge again, we're talking about becoming more whole and understanding humanity, humans in a more holistic sense, not just, oh, this is all that there is and this is all that's important, because kind of like you're stuck in this rational type of consciousness, which is just very observable, very practical and reason. that helped us do some crazy things. We got very scientific, and we built some awesome societies. But now we're talking about reconnecting to a deeper part of ourselves, bridging that gap.
Dreamers, we tend to go off into our dreamlands, and our waking reality has a whole other life of its own. And you got to understand, the dreamer inside of you, the one that dreams, your dream persona is trying to lead you towards your well-being, towards your authentic self. It speaks the language of symbols, which is the language of your, some people want to call it a soul, some people want to call it your authenticity, whatever you want to call it. Treating your life symbolically, your everyday life symbolically, will connect you to your dream. You will realize this is like a dream, what do you call that, a lucid dream? What's that word?
Or detective?
No, when you like look at your watch or you look at your hands, what's that word?
Oh, like a reality check?
Yeah, it's a reality check on its own. To treat your life as a dream, to treat it as a symbolic representation of your inner outward creation, and it'll seep onto your dreamscape. It will really seep.
Oh my God, that's the whole thing that we're trying to say, is that you can't develop your dreaming skills without developing your waking skills. So you want to bring more awareness into your dreams, you need to bring awareness into your waking life.
Yep.
Something like a reality check, it has all these people talk about it all the time, and it's something just so simple. You're asking someone just to stop a couple times during the day and just be present, and just be aware. And maybe that takes you looking at your watch, or when you hear the phone ring, you stop. But you don't need to have any of those things. You can just stop every once in a while and take inventory. Where are you? What's going on? Because that same thing is going to happen when you're dreaming. You're going to take that inventory. You're going to be like, wait a second, what's going on? And then it's like, and you're going to be like, holy crap, I'm dreaming.
Native American traditions, I mean, the thing that I take from Native American traditions is the storytelling. It's not telling somebody the answer. It's telling them a story. And the story will lead them to their own realization, because they start becoming an observer to the story, and then they either take a preference to a character, and they discover who they are. But it's the person listening that will discover what they think, what they believe, and it's a journey. It's a journey, and that I do take from the Native American tradition.
I'm just going to say three things, and maybe I'll do one and another. But three things that I think, because you guys are all going to get 5 chapters of the book, so you guys are going to be able to, there's some great information on that, practical techniques and whatnot. But this, for me, is 3 things that I think takes the mystery out of it and makes it something that we're not talking about something very heady or intellectual. So the first core principle, I guess, is that, and this is something you need to know on an intuitive, heartfelt level, is that you are a dreamer. That's number one. Just knowing that on a very deep level, that you can't not dream. When you go to bed every night and you sleep, you're not just having 1 or 2 dreams, you're having like 6 to 8 dreams. You can't not do it. So this isn't something you need to learn. This is just something you need to be mindful of and say, hey, this is something I want to do and learn and know. So right now, not thinking of that in an intellectual level. Let's get out of our minds for a second and bring ourselves down to a heart-centered level where we're feeling that on a very intuitive level, that you are a dreamer. This is who you are. You dream, and accept that. Okay, so number two, you are a dreamer, number 1. Number 2, now you want to decide to dream. This is just right now, in this very moment, make the conscious, deliberate intent. Set an intention. I want to know my dreams. I want to know my dreams, and feel that. Again, not in your head, because your mind is going to forget. You have 30,000 thoughts a day. You're just going to forget. Push this into a seed into your heart. You want to know your dreams. And again, they're not trying to be mysterious. They just want your attention. Just decide right now. Make it a priority to connect with them. You're already having them. All right, Michelle, thank you. It didn't work. Anya, what do you mean it didn't work?
It's just an intention.
Yes, let's set that intention.
Be a yes person.
No, but seriously, sometimes we intellectualize our intentions and we put it in our minds, but we got to get out of that.
It's just, an intention is a seed that you're planting within your subconscious and conscious mind. It's going to ripple out from there. but it needs you. You're the missing ingredient. So if becoming a yes person and seeing that it's not going to be like, oh, right now, that it might be a process, but that you're opening up to it, that your journey is going to begin where you're going to start to look out for your dreams revealing themselves. So that it didn't work is impossible, because this is just the beginning.
Someone wrote, "I dream, therefore I am." That is awesome.
I love that.
That's incredible. When you were saying subconscious and conscious, I had this image of like, here's our conscious mind, right? You would point to your consciousness, but of course it's not your mind, it's not your brain. This is just like a receiver of sorts. But say our consciousness, and then our subconsciousness. So this is our below consciousness. So that's what I mean about planting the seed in your heart, that I want to know my dreams and feeling it. It's about feeling here. It's not about intellectualizing. It's about feeling that intention.
What is that meditation that you do when you want to be lucid with your heart? I forgot. You explained this to me last time we met.
Yeah, well, I was telling Jennifer, before bed, I try to breathe into my heart. So what I mean by that, I'm every breath I'm taking, I'm opening up my heart, and I'm pulling my consciousness down into here and feeling myself becoming lucid and feeling myself being aware of my dreams. I'm not thinking it. As soon as you turn off, you're going to fall asleep. Your mind's just it might forget, your heart will not. So I try to just breathe into my heart before bed. Something I do that helps other people.
I want to tell Anya that some people who can't stop intellectualizing, or some people who are completely the other spectrum of things, it's not about, maybe that's not what you would do. The whole point is that right now you're probably realizing that your way is going to be different. It's going to actually be using your mind and using your intellect. So I would suggest for you, Anya, to explore how it is that you can use your intellect as a tool towards all of this that we're talking about. This is just one of many ways in which we can achieve things. And nobody is really going to be able to hand you something and say, here, this is the pill to dreaming. They're just going to inspire you to find your own way. This is all about your own unique path. That's
what I love about when you talk, because that too. But other people are going to have totally different experiences. That's a great reminder. Mm-hmm. And also a reminder: don't eat before bed. Jennifer, you didn't get that joke.
Don't think things are hard. Think things are easy and effortless, and develop a new belief. Because you know what our affirmations are? Affirmations are things that you say every day to yourself. So if you're saying this is hard, it's so hard, you're gonna create a very hard reality. But if fake it till you make it, you gotta say this is easy, this is effortless. You gotta start reprogramming your defeatist mind, the negative what ifs. What if it doesn't work? What if this? How about what if it does work? What if you do develop this? What if you do find your own path? What if this whole thing will lead you somewhere exciting? See, those what ifs, the positive what ifs, will lead you to your own experience. Even if it's intellectual or whatever it is or metaphysical or whatever it is that's lined up in your path. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and for practical things, again, read the 5 chapters, because those give you very practical techniques. Just because we don't want to totally cover all these techniques. There's plenty. But one about getting out of our minds, just because we're very, very cognitive and rational and intellectual, I feel like today, and that's maybe part of our problem. But Aristotle said this really cool thing. He said that the insights available from dreams are like reflections in water. So when the water is disturbed, or your mind is very busy, you can't really see the reflections, right? But when the water is cool and calm, that is, your mind is very clear and soothing, the reflections are very easy to see. So you can see the insights of the dream. You can remember all that goes on. Mm-hmm. So again, trying to calm your mind down starts here as well. It's not like you're just going to go to sleep and be like, oh, it's going to work. just practice it during the day of just calming your mind, pausing between breaths, and not being so into your head.
I'm going to respond to this question. As a hypnotherapist, any tips on how to break these limiting beliefs? And actually, this is my next project. I have so many questions like these, and I'm creating a series of hypnotherapy downloads for people interested in enhancing their dream reality. And they will be available in dreampioneers.com. And you will all, you can all try it out. They'll be reasonably priced, some will be free. And you can explore the subconscious reality. Yeah, and on that note, also Thomas is a lucid dream coach and all these other things. So get in touch with him if you want. If you're all interested in any kind of one-on-one with either of us, we're available.
Yeah, I just realized I didn't tell the third foundational tip.
Go.
Okay, so what did we say the first one was? You're a dreamer. Mm-hmm. Accept that. Yes. You can't go away from it. You do it. The number 2 is decide right this moment, right now and before bed, that you want to know your dreams.
Tonight.
And feel that on a heart level. And then tonight. And then number 3. Number 3 is getting familiar with your dreams. So literally, get curious. Get curious about them. Write them down. When you start writing them down, even just snippets you remember in the morning. And I was reading some of the comments on the meetup thing. It was someone was saying that they keep hitting snooze, and then when they wake up, a lot of their dream is gone. I know it sucks, and we're gonna have technology in the future that will help us do this. But for now, you have to. When you wake up, you gotta just turn over. Don't turn over. Actually, sorry. Just write down 3 keywords. Just 3. It could even be Jaguar, car, space, I don't know. But you'll then wake up and know what those were. So you'll see as you write them down, as you get to know them, you start dreaming about the same things. You'll start becoming familiar with dream scenes and signs. They'll just naturally blossom. And also, getting familiar with your dreams means bringing them into your waking life. So it means sharing them with your friends. Don't closet them in your waking life. Share them with people. And that's what a dream pioneer is. We're these people, these 38 people now, I guess, you guys are opening up a space for others to know it's okay to dream. A lot of people feel, and they're private things, dreams are, but a lot of people don't share them. And it's up to us to open up a space to be like, hey, I had this crazy dream last night. Let's talk about this. Tell me about your crazy dream. Mm-hmm. And then, like we're saying, you're bridging that gap. You're making the unconscious conscious.
Yeah, I was telling Thomas that I go to the bank, I go to the store, and if somebody asks me, how are you? I'll be like, well, I had a weird dream last night. And it's strange. That person, whoever, it doesn't matter who they always like, really, I've been having these dreams and really interested in this. Do you have a number? Can we talk? It's almost like they have but they're like thirsty to even communicate about their dreams because they feel like nobody will listen. But I did an experiment at my job. I had a very boring job for 5 years, and I decided to try out talking about everything that I do to everybody when they would say hi, and I had the whole place dreaming in like a year. I wasn't even telling them how, just by telling them my dreams in the morning. They would pass by my desk and be like, oh, you know what, Jennifer, I had a dream yesterday, because I was always the person talking about them. So talking about dreams, you can talk about it with anybody, your coworkers, your family members, your children, your parents, and just put it out there. You gotta come out, put it out there, express yourself.
Something I've noticed about just telling my dreams is that aside from writing them down, when you tell them, it brings actual insights into the meaning, yes. Into the meaning of the dream, or into the importance of what the dream meant. So when you describe to your friend, or you're discussing in some group, you have to put it into words. You need for other people to understand, and that kind of gives you like a fresh insight of, you might be describing about a ring that appeared in the dream, for example, and you say, wait a second, you know what, I had a ring like that when I was 8. I mean, it just hits you. So when you're describing dreams to people, you have to verbalize it, and in that verbalizing it, you get new things from it. So don't just keep them in your dream journal or in your mind. I want to talk about, and I want to ask people about what a dreaming society looks like. I want to talk about just because the future, we sometimes forget that we are always changing, the world is always changing, and that's kind of what this is about. So we're not going to be like this forever. We're not, hopefully, I think we're on a ticking clock anyway. We can't keep doing this. So we're going to change. What would a dreaming society look like for you? What would that mean if we integrated dreams into our world? Someone earlier said dream sharing. Yeah, that's the question. That is it. What would an awake and conscious society look like? For me, it's that word balance. So it is a very conscious society where we know we're not just these can shift in consciousness and go into dream time or go into your indigenous person still, you call it the spirit world, and you tap into that deeper, wiser part of yourself. You receive advice and guidance from that. My big thing would be, I'm curious how it would integrate into our educational system. How would we teach children how to do it healthily without bringing any sort of dogma or religious context into it? I'm very curious about that. Jimmy Jangles. People are like stones skipping across the shallow surface of this deep pond. I often think this is a metaphor I like to use, is that, and it's about the remembered dream. So in the morning when you wake up and you recall the dreams you had, and you're like, oh, that is what a dream is. But that's not. That's the memory of the dream that we were talking about. I imagine us in this boat and we're looking down at the water. And all we see is this we see these like shady shapes and colors and blotches, and we're like, oh, that's what the dream world is. It's just very muddy and you can't see much. What we're talking about with lucid dreaming is not being on the outside looking in, which is you in the morning saying that's what a dream is, but diving into that ocean. And when you go underneath that with consciousness and awareness, you realize there's a whole, I'm going to say, fucking world that is out there and down there. It's got all these intricate living beings there, and it's very cool. So again, diving into that ocean, not just staying on the outside. Watch your language.
Bad, Thomas. But it's true, they're talking about kids, and I was a what do you call that? What's that word? When somebody says it's okay to talk about something. Well, anyway.
What's that word?
What's that word? It's Jenny's game. What's that word? My father and my mother and my sisters, we would all share our dreams every morning. And even if we didn't have any, or astral projections or premonitions, and this is something that shaped my life. I was telling Thomas in show and tell in elementary school, they would be like, somebody would be like, oh, I went to the Grand Canyon, and somebody else would be like, I went with my family to Tel Aviv or wherever, and then I would be like, I had an out-of-body experience, or I had a weird dream, and the teacher would call my parents all the time, and they would be like, your daughter can't be saying these things in front of the children because they're going to make fun of her, and they think she's weird and awkward. And my father would be like, Jenny, keep this in the family. But I couldn't. I had a big mouth when it came to, I'm like, well, doesn't everybody astral project? Isn't this normal? And yes, it was normal, but no, it was not consciously acknowledged, I guess. Because everybody did astral project. Everybody did have these experiences, but they were not conscious of it. And I felt I felt like an outcast growing up, but you know what? I love today because so many people are open to this now, and I'm just like, wow, where were these people when I was growing up, And where we were? We were in our private little world, not sharing it. And this is why we're coming out now, because, come out of the dreaming closet, come out of your weird closet or metaphysical closet or whatever it is. It's time to come out and express yourself.
Well, look at you. This is all part of your experience, and now you know how important it is.
Oh, I came out big time. Against my own will. I forced myself out, but it was the best thing I ever did. Because seeing so many dreamers, whenever somebody joins Dream Pioneers and they write an introduction about themselves, my heart opens. Some people share so much, and I'm just like, wow, I want to talk to this person. This person sounds amazing, like somebody passionate about dreams like me, as crazy as I am about dreams and our waking life.
I just imagine like a T-shirt that says "I'm coming out of my dream closet" or something. Or, coming out of the dream closet.
It's like saying, "Mom, Dad, I'm a dreamer."
Go on, it's like some intervention. That would be actually a great like series of people coming out of the closet.
Yeah, or I call it with my friend Jamie. We called it mole retrieval, like soul retrieval, except getting all the moles out of their holes. But
that's hilarious. Another cool thing, so in Dreaming Society, going back to the Dreaming Society,
yes,
is perhaps using it for health. So there's all these cool studies about how dreaming can heal ourselves, not just spiritually or emotionally. You can heal past parts of yourself, traumas that have been lost, or more of the emotional aspect, but healing on a physical level. So getting lucid and actually seeking someone who would heal you in the dream, or actually healing it yourself while lucid in a dream and healing your dream body, would that then have an effect on your physical body? So I think in the future we would be, in a consciously aware society, we would know how powerful consciousness is and how powerful our intentions are. Again, we're talking about a society that's deliberately and consciously creating the world. So it's not just they're victims of it and reacting to the world, but we're co-creating it deliberately.
Yes.
I wonder if health will be something in the future of society in dreaming.
Definitely. Look at the dream temples in ancient Greece. If anybody had an ailment, they would go to these dream temples, and these priests, they would set an intention to find the healing in their dream. And they would stay there for a week or how many days the psychic priest would assign to them. But they already walked into that temple with that intention. And so many times when I have some kind of a health issue, I will ask my dream for guidance. And I even had Imhotep. And
Have what?
Imhotep, the Egyptian architect and healer, come into my dream and try to explain what it is that I needed. Also the Akashic records. If any astral projecting or meditating or lucid dreaming people ever want to visit this symbolic place called the Akashic records, you can find any information, intuitive or symbolic, that you may want in regards to anything that you need. So
Oof,
I recommend
that's
it.
powerful.
Yeah.
When you were saying the dream temples, I wanted to just say the people in Egypt, those people, the priests, their title, what they were called, that helped you dream and be in the temple of healing and receiving guidance. They were called the Masters of Secret Things. How cool is that? That's the coolest title I
love that.
could ever imagine.
Your business card, right?
Oh, that's my job. I'm the Master of Secret Things. How much would you charge someone? I just wanted to kind of highlight something about, we're talking about a dreaming society, and we're talking about a society that we are going to be creating, and we're creating now because we're bringing dreams back into this world. And it's my belief that I kind of have like an evolutionary perspective, that we now are conscious of evolution, and we know that it's been happening, and now we can consciously direct it. So we can direct evolution and our course just by our values and the choices we make. So it's about even how many children we have, or what food we eat, what businesses we support. We're shifting and evolving the society into a way we want it to be. So for us, dreaming and bringing that into the world, we're actually affecting the course of humanity by bringing that back and to almost become something different, something more whole, a more whole human being. But I just always have this vision of just the whole course of evolution. When we're talking about, at the Big Bang, something happened and something came from nothing. So we went from the spirit realm or whatever, we went from unmanifest to manifest, from formless to form. And out of this huge thing came just very simple, basic vibrations of matter. Matter was a leap in consciousness itself. So all we had was this hydrogen. Like all this hydrogen walking around. It didn't walk, but and here's hydrogen. Here's hydrogen, and it was just a big universe of hydrogen. And what happened? It's not like it just stayed that way and forever. Hydrogen, as if it had some intent itself, wanted to raise itself and go to the next level, and it fused with itself and became helium, and then helium did the same thing, and it became lithium. And now we're talking about this whole periodic table of elements as that's our biology, that's our cosmic story, that's who we are, and we have this life force in us, this impulse to keep going and explore and reach higher states, right? Reach higher vibrations. And here we are in this body. And I think that's what we're doing now. We're talking about reaching another state, and it's about being more consciously aware of our waking life and our dream life. Are you cracking up?
Sorry. Somebody said two hydrogen atoms walk into a bar, and I just can't stop laughing.
Oh my God, and there's a helium sitting there, and they're like, what's up? Hey, you didn't get the story.
Sorry.
We have this impulse in us, the life force of who we are. That's who we are. We're not anything except this life force that wants to constantly keep creating and reaching higher states.
So even thinking that we're just, Jennifer and Thomas and, with the skin, it's true. Like, even if you look at it from a scientific point of view, it is an illusion still. Like, we still way more than that. And the capabilities that we hold within us are way more than we are giving ourselves credit for. We're powerful. You're all powerful and unique, and, discover your power. Get your power back and view yourself as an important person that has something unique to offer. So somebody's asking, how many times a week do you lucid dream?
I don't lucid dream every night. Probably, say on average, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I've been really curious lately. My intention's been lately to find my highest spiritual guide. So I usually get these intentions where I'm very curious to explore this, or to find out this, or to seek out this person, or ask this question, and then I set the intention to then do it. I thought you would say every night. I wouldn't say I'm a guru and doing it whenever I want, but if I have an intention and I really spend time I'm meditating, but even just setting my intention before bed, I'm usually pretty good at it.
Dreams that are not lucid are very useful because our conscious mind is not in the way, and the message can come through. Sometimes if we went lucid, we would be like, oh my God, I want to fly, and all these things, and then you didn't have that profound experience that comes from a dream where you're half lucid or completely in the dream as whatever your dream is. So it depends. If you lucid dream with a purpose, is different than if you get too excited and then you blew your night just trying to fly. Well, if you just want to fly, that's fine. But in my case, dreams are a way in which I work on everything. So sometimes I prefer half lucid to not lucid states. And astral projections, definitely, especially in soul retrieval and subjects like that.
You mentioned that when we were talking. That's interesting. Like not, or at least the benefit of
not always aiming for lucidity. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you always want to be aware.
Well, I could get in the way. I could get like a kid, like a kid in a candy store, And
right.
And you're not looking like. My goal is to go into a lucid dream and control my excitement so that I can really, really, really take it in and interact with it on a different level.
It's great, just because it was something that you do. I feel like it's a stage that you go through, and you have. Because it's freedom. You literally become aware that you're dreaming and everything's a dream. You seek out very good-looking people. You have sex with them. You fly, because flying is the most thrilling thing in the world. It's not just like flying. You feel the wind in your face. You feel that sun if there's a sun. You feel the pit in your stomach when you're doing movements. It's intoxicating.
And I was telling Thomas that in regards to sexual energy is manifesting energy. So if you go lucid in a dream next time and you want to go past just the normal, let's have lucid sex or whatever, try to meditate within your lucid dream and raise that kundalini through all your chakras so that it comes out of your crown, and you will really transform this experience into a more profound one if you're ready to take that next leap into lucid dreaming. And it will also enhance your lucid dream time that you have there, and you'll be able to create more like an architect if you want to. Or if you want to, whatever experience you'll have, your lucid dreamscape is yours. And
holy crap, Jennifer. Also, did you know what you just did? You said you almost made an Ankh symbol. You said, and that's what they used to do in Egypt with reaching higher states with sex, is they would, upon orgasm, which is coming from like your lower chakras, they would raise that energy up, and instead of it, how would they do it?
Well,
they would bring it.
Do that, taking sex to the next level, same as in lucid dreams, go beyond the normal and try to do a different kind of awareness, definitely.
On Jay Friedman's, so he asks, and do you believe that the dream world is a real place and that the brain is kind of tuning in like an antenna? I think that's a very cool way to say it. Absolutely. So I kind of take not just my opinion, but I kind of see how we looked at it in the past. And in chapter 3, I'm not sure if you guys get chapter 3, but it's a history on dreaming. So we go all the way back to ancient Mesopotamia and see, well, how did they view dreaming? And it's interesting because a lot of them thought that dreams, even Carl Jung in the 40s or so, said that, we dream in the collective unconscious, or these other cultures believe that dreaming took place on a shared and collective space. It wasn't a private, separate experience only happening in your mind. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I think we are like this. When we're dreaming unconsciously, we are caught up in our own. So we're dreaming and we're doing it unconsciously, and we're basically creating on this web or this field all of our thoughts and emotions and memories. Let's say we go like this and we're caught up in our dream, and then we become lucid and we dissolve all those projections that we're putting out into the world, and we realize that it's just our own energy appearing externally. Could we then meet another person in the dream world, or in the dream space?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? For me, it's like about getting past those projections, right? I did a little experiment with my 2 writers that I wrote the book with, and we were doing some rewrites on the book, and we went to this cabin up in New York, just to kind of get away from the city and the hustle bustle. And we were all sleeping in one room, essentially. So we're like, why don't we try to have a shared experience? Why don't we try to do this dream sharing? So this is what we kind of did, and it kind of gave me some insights on what and how lucid or shared dreaming can be done. So we all set an intention. We woke up about an hour before we were supposed to wake up, and we all sat up for like a half hour saying, okay, setting our intentions. If you see each other in a dream, that'll be your trigger to know it's a dream. So if I see Dylan or if I see Jared, I'm going to know in the next hour that is a dream. So I went to bed, and immediately I saw them. I saw Dylan and Jared, and that was my trigger. I got lucid, and I grabbed their hands, and I ran towards this big stained glass window. It's huge, like almost found in like a church, and I jumped through it. And the 3 of us fall out the window, and we land in this garden, and I get up and I say, do you see how absurd this is? We're dreaming. And I remember my friend Dylan looking around, and he had this glimmer in his eye, like he almost got it, and I had like a pit in my stomach. Like, he's going to be lucid. He's going to awaken, and we're going to have a shared dream. This is going to be crazy. And he kind of looks around, he's like, I kind of get it. And I said, Dylan, if I flew right now, would that prove to you that we're dreaming? And I flew, he said, sure. And I flew up, and for some reason I actually ended up falling after flying for a little bit, and that actually woke me up. So then we wake up in the cabin, and we all wrote down our dreams. We didn't share them yet, so we recorded them first, and then I'm sharing my dream. And it's so fascinating. Then they shared their dreams. So Dylan had a dream that same time that I had broken this big window. And it was a stressful dream because he was worried about how are we going to pay for this. And he was saying it's an anxious dream. But it had this window breaking content. My other friend Jared had a little bit of a different dream, but he had a dream of his grandma crashing on a motorcycle. I remember being on the highway, stepping on all this broken glass. So it gave me this insight that even if we have a shared dream, we're all going to interpret it differently. Just as in the waking world, you and me may be in the same room, but I'm seeing it differently. Obviously, through my filter of perception.
Well, through your own unique dreamscape, we're able to interact, but in our own individual. For example, I recently, in one of our lucid talks, I haven't posted this one, an astral traveling girl said that she would go to astral temples, and she came into the what's that word I was going to say? She came into the knowledge that that the guy in front of her was seeing a forest while she was seeing a desert, but the temple was there. So everybody gets to see their own projection of their perception, but in a shared kind of realities, and yet they're sharing the same space. This is amazing.
You know, the content might stay the same. You and I might be in the same room, and we might see a pink elephant if it's there. but maybe you're focusing on more of like the energy in the room, and it's more you're focusing on something else. Even in the waking world, you go to a restaurant with someone where you have two separate different experiences of that same restaurant.
Mm-hmm. I learned this in photography school. We were supposed to develop our unique perception that will influence our style in photography. So a lot of my training was looking through this camera at what is it that I see that other people don't. Like, what is my perception? And I kind of developed this, and it helped me with my dreaming, which is amazing. But I always recommend to get to know your individual perception. And also, you know how in the dream I can have one perception in a shared dream, and another person can have a different one, even though we're sharing it. The same goes for the waking reality. If you think that everybody's having a similar or the same experience as you, they're not. You're having your own unique experience.
I just got this visual of everyone as a Brita filter, and we're literally getting like this tap water, which is like, I don't know, the universe or the ether, and we're all going through these filters, and like then it becomes our perception. So I just had a really cool image of everyone having Brita filters on their heads. I just wanted to highlight Michael Wentz, who said, so is it ethical to see someone else's dream without their permission? What do you think about
this is what we're talking about, that you will see your perception within similarities of their dream, but you're not really overlapping their personal boundaries. I feel like we have a little more control than we give ourselves credit for. And if you don't want think about what it is that you think about privacy. This is a question to get to know yourself a little more. What do you think about this? It's a good question.
But do you think there's ethics in dreaming? I guess tuning into someone else's dream or entering someone else's dream space. If I've ever needed to dream for someone, I've always asked their permission to, is it okay that I dream about this for you? Because also it's setting their intention to be open. It's opening for
it to come through you as the channel, right?
Right. I mean, so I do think there's some ethics, about dreams being a way to show the future. Have you ever had a prophetic dream or something like that, Jennifer?
Have I? Well, I have one that right now I posted it on YouTube, the recurring dream with the lionesses in the paradise city.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if that's just a recurring, like, symbolic dream, or if that's an actual paradise version of New York City that is about to emerge, or that is coexisting in nonlinear time at the moment. So this is the beauty of becoming a detective within my own recurring dream.
I think we can see the future in dreams. I think though they are unmanifested futures, so they're possibilities. They're not set future things. Like if you dream of a car accident, you're not going to get in a car crash necessarily, but having had that experience maybe alters your driving habits that next day, or you take a different way to work, or
also the vehicle as a car could be your body or your mind. Like you can explore it in so many levels. I trust my dreams. I really do. They have been the most truthful guides and my biggest, most wisest gurus. These are my dreams.
Yeah. I mean, just you on that level saying that you trust your dreams and you give them that much influence over your waking life. If you personify your dreams are like, oh my God, you're becoming friends with them and you develop a relationship with them. So they're not going to hide. They're going to be blossoming and they're going to show you what you need to know when you need to know it.
Exactly.
I want to share this dream with you. I never told you this, Jennifer, but it's nuts. And maybe this whole journey I'm about to go on with teaching people about lucid dreaming, I can resolve this ending. But I had this dream a couple years ago, and it was a lucid dream. I was in a wedding. I was in like a reception, and I was actually catering it. So was talking to these people, just fascinated by who all these people were. There was family there, and I didn't know whose wedding was, so I'm asking people questions. And I had met this girl, and she said her name is Anne, but people call her Alexis. I remember thinking, okay, you have two names. Like many times dream characters, they sound irrational as hell. You're just like, oh, okay, you're in your own little world. Hello. So I was like, oh, cool, you have 2 first names. Long story short, I was woken up actually 3 times, one from a phone call, one from a text, and I was actually able to go back into the lucid dream in the same spot with really, really solid lucidity. So the last time I go back into the dream, everyone is gone and they're all leaving, and I'm like, oh, who's this girl? What, I want to go find her. So I walked into the kitchen, I can't find her, and I end up deciding, let me stand by the door and wait until she comes out as people are filing out. And I'm waiting there. It's funny. I'm waiting there for like 4 or 5 minutes in a dream. So I'm waiting. People are filing out, and I look outside, and she's actually outside waiting for me. And we both see each other. She comes towards me. I stay there, and there's this window or glass door in between us. And she says to me that I need to find her. And she begins writing a phone number down in the dream. Now this is a dream. I know I'm dreaming, and I'm like, you're writing a phone number, a 10-digit number. Okay, all right, this is crazy.
Wow.
So she starts writing it down backwards. It's forward for her, but on the glass it's backwards. So I'm reading this. I'm like 732 this, and I ask her about 1. I said, is that a 0? You look like a big fat 6. I said, is that a 0? And she says yes. So I memorize this 10-digit number, and I induce myself to wake up, and now I'm back in my bed. I write the number down as soon as I can, and I call this number. I'm very weird. I don't hesitate in calling and doing these things. But I did feel weird. So I call this number immediately. And this dude picks up. This guy is like, hello. And I was like, oh, God, how am I going to explain this to this man?
That's my favorite part in life.
Just trying to be like normal about it. Like, yes. And I even say, I was like, I had a dream. I say, I was given this dream. I was given your phone number. Does the name Anne or Alexis mean anything to you? And he immediately shifts and he gets pissed. How did you get this number? Who are you?
Like my ex-wife.
Oh my God. He ends up hanging up on me. I call him back a second time, a day later, and I say, sir, she said I'm supposed to give me your phone number. I'm not sure why, but who are these people? Does these names mean something to you? And he says, yes. And he won't tell me why. So I hang up a second time. So I call him a third time. This is the spark notes of this dream. Sorry, I'm taking forever. The third time, I pick up the phone, I call him, and I don't want to harass him. I'm sure he doesn't want me telling him these things. Yeah. And I say, sir, if I could just get an email, if you know these people, I would really appreciate just any sort of contact, anything, even an email. And I was like, well, who are these people? And he described to me that he's going through a divorce right now, or at the time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave away your punchline. I was just joking.
You got it!
Oh.
He said he's going through a divorce, and that his ex-wife, her name is Anne, and she has a younger sister named Alexis. And that he thought that they put me up to this to get information and to I don't know, to fuck with him in some way. And I'm like, sir, I have no idea who these people are. I would, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, he never gave me any information. He was very weirded out and was like, don't ever call me again. And I don't want to be harassing him about this. But I guess if I could find this Anne or Alexis through this medium, this journey I'm going to go on. And also, back 11, I was a little crazy about this. I did reverse check it, and I found the number was from New Jersey. And
wow, so it's near you.
I couldn't figure out any other information. But so no one is here named Anne or Alexis, I take it.
Now you're a psychic.
Oina was neither a pine nor an apple.
Ooh, lottery. My father won the lottery from a dream. His mother came to him, and this is how I got my first car when I was 18, is that his mother came to him and gave him lottery numbers. Not like the mega millions, but he got around 15,000 and got me my first car because he was like, this is my dream lottery numbers, and you're the dreamer of the family, so I'm getting you a car. I was like, yeah.
So essentially, we're learning how to dream so we can make a lot of money, win the lottery. This is the only point we did these things. Clearly. I use my skills for the betterment of only myself.
But you know what? Speaking of money, it's an energy and it's like a relationship. So are dreams. If you treat it like a relationship and the communication that you need in order to make something work, then communication is very important with your dreams, with your money, with everything. It's not just with everything is a relationship with you. So communication is number one in any kind of relationship. So this is why we're doing this.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight we're going to lay down, obviously. We're going to relax our body. We're going to remember what Aristotle said. We want to kind of calm our mind. Let your thoughts go and allow yourself to be peaceful. We don't often do that. We're worried about what burdens us, about what we're doing tomorrow. If it helps you and you're going to have those thoughts, before you even lay down, write a bulleted list of what you're going to do tomorrow and then let it go. Almost just allow that to just be done so you can just calm your mind as much as you can. And I want you then to affirm to yourself, tonight I will remember my dreams. And don't intellectualize it. Don't feel it coming from your mind. Feel it coming from your heart because you want to feel this. You want to say, I want to know my dreams. Tonight I will remember my dreams. And I want you to feel yourself in a dream or having a dream and you're connecting to it. Like Jennifer always points out, we are multidimensional, so there is a part of ourselves that is already in dream time, and we're almost like we're calling on a phone. We're saying, "Hey, there, I want to connect with you." But you want to do it on a heart level. You don't want to do it on a mind level. So yes, how about we do that, shall we? And that's great. Speak your intention. Don't just say it in your mind. Again, you want to say it out loud. Dreaming Sikha wants me to repeat them. So lay down. Number one, lay down, relax. Number two, let all your thoughts go. And I want them, just all of them, to go. Don't have any thoughts that are burdening you. Let it all go. And then you're going to, with this blank slate, you're going to plant this seed in your dirt, and you're going to say, at your heart, you're going to say, tonight I will remember my dreams, or I want to know my dreams. Whatever feels right to you. I am excited about where this is all going because I feel like we have an opportunity at least, and I think every time I talk about dreaming to people, everyone's fascinated to talk about it. It's almost like we've repressed this thing that we're like, oh, you want to talk about dreaming? Yeah, I had this dream and I did this and that, and people love it, but we just need to. A lot of us are hungry for developing this skill. Everyone in this room is already 90% there, not even, maybe even more. Just you're already doing it, you're wanting it, and that's where it comes from. It comes from a desire and knowing that it's important to dream, remembering why we dream. So what we're talking about this whole time wasn't about how to dream, it's remembering why and how powerful dreams can be in influencing our waking lives. And for me, it's always about the why.
With that, I think we've been 2 hours. We should come to a beautiful ending. Just so you all know, Thomas and I are available for one-on-one sessions with people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
We do need a dream community.
Where can they get the book?
So it's going to be available probably tomorrow, but I was told to say next week just in case. So you can go to this place. It's dreamlabs.io. It's not .com, it's .io. Stands for Indian Ocean. And that's just us being stubborn and wanting Dream Labs. If you go there, you can just type in your email, and we're just going to send out a blast next week or tomorrow.
They did a great job, Dylan and Jared and Thomas. You guys really put together something so accessible and yet magical within its own thing. And I'm really enjoying reading it. I haven't finished it yet, but it's fun and it's really profound. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, show a picture, because what's cool about my favorite thing is that it's an illustrated guide. So
there's all these wonderful, intricate illustrations. I mean, it really takes your imagination places. I love these images. I love the way they're drawn.
Yeah, it kind of follows this journey. It's not really told in the book, but a lot of the drawings have to do with this woman, Sam, who's going on this journey. That's her. So she's going on this journey to this other place, kind of symbolic of the dream world. So she's kind of the main character, but it's obviously a non-fiction book, and we never even talk about Sam. It's just a character we came up with our illustrator. And we just say thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, bye guys.